Hello, testing. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is attempting to do cloth simulation that is going to be represented as a ghost. So the first things that I want to do is I want to create a node to move the cloth and then the cloth itself. So how I'm going to do that is by utilizing a sphere. I'm going to make a sphere here. Maybe Alt W to full screen and then put F4 on for edge faces. Let's move this up. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to use the shift key, hold the shift key and then scale that up again to make a duplication. I want it as a copy, press OK and go to the editable modifier, and I'm going to change the hemisphere and cut the hemisphere up like so. Alright, I'm going to convert this into an editable poly, and then I'm going to select the underside. Let me use the grow. So I'll grow and then I'm going to delete. Yep, so we've got like a half cut left. Alright, next thing I want to do is use the border tool, select around, and then use the use the shift key to drag out. Alright, so I'm going to drag out some like so, and then I am going to select around. Let me use ring. So I've selected one and then use ring to select everything around it. Nice quick way. I'm going to use the connect tool now, and I'm going to make a bunch of cuts in. I do want it to be high poly, but let's not go over ourselves. I'm not sure these machines can handle too much. Alright. Alright, cool. So I'm going to use... What's going on? Sorry. Select. I'm going to just select around here. The shift ain't working. The double click? Double click. Ooh, what's going on? Let me just select okay, I've made a mistake somewhere here, so let's just delete those, and then I am going to select both of these sides and then bridge. Something is going amiss here. Got a triangle there and a triangle there. Alright, so if I connect these two, bridge, and then bridge those. Okay, I think I've made a mistake somewhere here. Okay, so let's do this again, because I've made a mistake somewhere. I'm going to select, I'm going to scale up a bit, hemisphere on, okay, alright, Alt Q so I can isolate and see what I'm doing, convert to editable poly, select that, delete, border tool around, let's scroll that out. Let me scale it up a bit more. Alright, and then I'm going to select this again. I am going to ring it. Alright, and now I'm going to connect. Put a bunch of connects in there. Okay. Double click. Let me scale that one out. Okay. Okay, that looks fine now. It's working now. That's all I wanted to do. So let's unhide that, and then let's bring this up. I am gonna name this sphere cloth, and then I'm gonna name this one underneath. Let's change the color, and I'm gonna name it stick. Alright. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to actually, let's put some animation on this just so we can see it move. So I am gonna start from say 35. I'm gonna do auto key. I'm gonna move it over here, auto key, and then in between I'm gonna auto key these bits here. Alright, and then we can move up a tiny bit in here, up a tiny bit, and one more. Alright, so if I go into the motion path now, we can see what I've done. I am going to use now the shift key to get this to be more of a bounce. So use the shift key to cut these, to turn these into bevier corners. Alright, that's fine. Don't really have to do much on that. Alright, so we've got a little ball that is bouncing along, and we're going to get it to follow. Alright, so with this cloth now, what I'm going to do is on the editable poly, make sure nothing is selected. I am going to drop a cloth onto it. Alright, and then we're going to go to object properties. We're going to state this to be, actually we're going to add, and we're going to, the only other thing in the scene is what I'm going to use to move the cloth. I'm going to go add that, and I'm going to put a collision object onto this. I'm going to leave everything as it is. On the cloth, I am going to change it to cloth, not inactive, and then there's presets that you can play with, mess about with. What do we want? Let's just put wool, whatever, wool. Some form of fabric, cotton. Let's put cotton and press OK. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, if I pull this out, I want to simulate on a local level so no animation will be played, and we're gonna get this hopefully to drape. So without changing anything here, I'm gonna simulate local. Okay, and it's kind of gone through, so let's reset the state. So I'm resetting the state, and then I'm going to look on what could be the issue. So let's turn the gravity down maybe a bit. Let's turn it down to -800. Just take on self collision, and let's go simulate local again. Okay, let's reset the state, and let's try object properties, and let me change the cloth properties to something else, maybe wet cloth. Okay, and then simulate local. Okay, that's held it a bit better. It's a bit more rigid, but let's stop the simulating local, and we are going to set initial state. So we've set the initial state, so it's going to hold that information. So in that folded information, it's going to hold. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go down in the cloth options. I'm going to go to group. I am going to go and select, I'm going to go and select the middle bit, and I want to grow. So I'm going to grow out, because this is not going to move. This is going to be what controls everything. And I'm going to make a group, and we're going to call this sticky for whatever reason, and we want to put sticky to surface. So we click sticky to surface, and then you can see that you can pick the object you want it to be stuck to. Alright, so I pick sticky to surface and to mesh to stick, so that is the ball underneath. And then we can go back here, and then if we go to an actual simulate, you can see that this information has come up here. It's simulating. The ball doesn't move yet, it's going to move. And hopefully it doesn't crash. Okay, it was a very short animation, but it done it. And you can see that it's played here. Now obviously, let's just play it on the loop. Obviously you would want to do this with a bit more polygons, and we're going to smooth it out and everything. But you've got the cloth object to simulate around a specific object that we've animated. That's the basis of how this would work. Yeah? Okay, so once you have that, just say, I'm not happy with this. I would go in and tweak and modify and everything, just move the settings around. What you want to do is you want to create keys. It's going to ask you, warning, this cannot be undone. You go, yes. And then it's created all the keys for you here. Alright, so this is baked into the actual mesh now. Even if we delete this ball, which we don't need, the animation of the mesh is still there. Oops. And then what you would want to do, okay, what you would want to do is you would want to put like a smooth on or mesh smooth on top when you go to render. So let's just throw a smooth on for now. Smooth. You can auto smooth on one of the smoothing groups, and then you would yeah. So it's as simple as that. It's not simple. It's quite hard. The chance of failure is tremendously high, but that's the general gist of how you would get everything to work. Yeah. All right. So that's going to be the end of this tutorial, and I will move on to another one soon.